Ring.
My hair looks like a pancake on one side and a bird on the other. Like, what the fuck did you do this morning?
Ring. Stop! Sabotaging my intro. Ring. Hello, simps and virgins.
Yes.
Happy Friday. And welcome back to Krown's Magical Tips and Cake.
Well. Welcome back to the Krown Crypto channel. Holy fucking moly, man. I see that there's almost 1,000 people watching right off the bat right now, which is insane because it's been a very boring week, actually. And holy shit, my hair is... This is a monstrosity. This is a very big issue right now. But we got plenty to talk about, so we can't be focusing on non-important bullshit. We need to be focusing on very important bullshit, actually, on the other side, of which we'll be going over that today on Bitcoin. A few big signals actually have happened since we last spoke, so I want to follow up on that, how that kind of changes the picture, and actually address the title of this video, which is a little bit of a clickbait title right there, but I mean, I always want to back it up with actual information. So with that in mind, I would like to wish you the best and the happiest as always, and let's get into it right now. But before that, I should say, whoa, the likes literally just doubled over the course of 30 seconds. What the fuck? What the actual fuck, man? 420 likes. It's a magical number. Just let it be. No more liking indeed. And holy moly, man, now we have officially 1,000 people watching. That is just insane. That is way too insane. It's way too early for many people out there. And again, it's been a very boring week. It's been a very boring week for price action. So before we get into it, is there anything else that I want to say? I want to say a nice and welcome and happy morning to everyone out there. I see our lovely moderators, Bear Nutrition, Nikki Page is in here. Absolutely love her. Wait, where? Why no work? Okay, there we go. It's my bad. My little streaming software over here had a bit of a hiccup right there. Anyways, Chris Biola, good morning to you. Mr. Philosophian and Mr. Gaylord is back. What's up, Justin Young? Good morning to you as well. Frig Diggler, another fun name to be saying. Calafrios YouTube, nice one, man. Yeah, we can maybe look at that one a little bit later. As always, Krown token soon. Don't worry, says K-Rob. I'm trying to avoid the SEC, sir. Not trying to get shoved with the red dildo of the SEC by having some security as my own name. No, thank you. No, thank you indeed. Bimmer, good morning to you as well. I believe you're over there in the UAE. We're actually going to go and visit there again in an upcoming month, so looking forward to that. Also, absolutely fucking love it. Josh, good fucking morning to you, man. Good chatting to you on the good old Discord right there as well. We could actually get into that a bit too. I think that would make an interesting topic on this video. Arcray, Sidhu, Rocky G. Who else do we have, man? Who else do we have? Oh, I see. I see a lot of people also joining the cave. I want to remind you that if you do join the YouTube, not the Krown Chat application, not anything to do with that, just purely on YouTube. If you're purely on YouTube, on the join button, you do get access to this very basic TA 101 playlist. I do quite enjoy it, but I always want to say, like, yeah, it's quite basic, so just understand what you're getting yourself into right there. Just a bit of a thank you for anyone who actually happens to give a fuck with subscribing there. And Willis, David Gross, Mr. Swade, nice name right there. Dan Artelon, sounds like someone from Star Wars, but good. I love Star Wars. And let's get it in over here, starting off with the Krown Chain application. Actually, no, we're not going to start off with the Krown Chain application today. We're going to do something similar to yesterday, and I want to make sure that I have all my notes right here because I do want to get this nice and tidy. So I basically want to record a video for a little bit later today so I can summarize my thoughts on Bitcoin heading especially into this weekend. And so let's get into the charts right over here and let's start it off. All right, so here we have Bitcoin on the lower term time frame, still doing the same thing that we've been looking at for the past couple weeks now. And yesterday we did confirm yet again another lower high right here. Did confirm also hidden bearish divergence, I think all the way up to a 12-hour. Let's just double check on this. Yes, indeed we did. So short term, we did play a bit of a downside move, but still within the context of this greater consolidation right here, nothing's really changed at all. So at the end of the day, until Bitcoin actually does essentially trade back above your last lower high, which we could now even move down as a resolution point from 50,300 now down to about 49,500, only because, well, Bitcoin got, wrecked there, or I wouldn't say wrecked there, but did put in another lower high. So it's not necessarily like a good thing, although the resolution point does move downwards now. I would be looking at that point as a bit of a bias buster and an early indication, or perhaps, not an early indication, but a full-on verification of a bear trap going on. Until then, this, of course, is a bearish descending triangle, which has a higher probability of breakout to the downside than the upside, especially within the context of an overall downtrend. And it would have a measured move all the way down to about 43,000 to 43,500-ish region, which would be directly in line, of course, with the weekly 55, which Bitcoin on CME is actually yet to test. So if you are looking for that, or if you are looking for the wick fill on December 4th, that's kind of the bearish view on this one right now. And of course, as long as Bitcoin is operating below that last lower high now, which is now moved down from, again, 50,300 to 49,500, that is, well, the more likely thing to be happening. But I do think that there's several things in the underlying market dynamics and across the board here that are of interest and do align with the potential for a major bear trap, actually. So I'm going to go through my notes right here. Let me just make sure that I got everything in there. And yes, we do. Okay, so yes, there is bearish divergence, or sorry, hidden bearish divergence all the way up to a 12-hour. We do see that volatility is on the floor right here as well. Whilst putting in a bit of a lower high right there. So that typically is a bearish setup. Again, it is not verified, at least in the way that I look at things, or validated, no matter, or depending upon which sort of terminology you want to be using, until Bitcoin essentially either closes a 4-hour dodo below the same area that we've been looking at for the past 2 weeks here, that being 46,500, or if you want to be super, conservative, then I guess you'd be waiting for, well, I guess, or sorry, if you want to be super aggressive, you'd probably just be waiting for a move just below 46,500 or so. However, personally speaking, I still would like to see an actual closure below there, because we are looking at, a decent sized move. Now, if Bitcoin does initiate the bear trap, which will be had first and foremost by trading back above that last lower high, again, 49,000, and it's not 500, it's actually 350 on a full hour closure, nothing less in this case, and preferably higher term timeframes, then we could apply that measure move to the other side, and that's going to be somewhere around about 53,500 to 54,000 bucks. Here's the thing though, and here's kind of what I'm looking at right now in the sense of the greater picture. So I want to go back on over to our chart over here with the daily stochastic momentum on CME and follow up on this signal, as we actually did cross the upside from yesterday's video, but now it must maintain above that same level. So I'll briefly go over why this is relevant, and then we'll go into what this means, coming into today's closure, actually the weekly for CME, obviously. Anyways, this same signal has happened about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, working on number 8 times in Bitcoin's history. And this signal is essentially related to the blue vertical bars right here, whilst the daily stochastic momentum comes all the way down to this green horizontal right here. Now, this, again, has happened several times in Bitcoin's history, and even within the context of very, very nasty and hefty downtrends, weekly downtrends, like macro downtrends, which Bitcoin's not in right now. It's in a daily downtrend, but not in a weekly downtrend. Again, as long as Bitcoin's above 40,000 bucks, essentially. Well, even then, there were some pretty impressive bounces. Now, they don't look like much on log scale, but certainly this was a nice bounce over here, almost 60%, again, within the confines of a very bearish market. Now, there's 2 iterations that stick out very, 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 very much above all the other ones that are a lot more similar to what we're looking at right on over here. That would be this one from March 2020 and this one from December 2018 lows. Why is that? Well, we do see, if you focus in on the red circled area right here, we do see the daily stochastic coming down to the green bar, bounce off, reject, come back down again, base once, base twice, and, well, assuming that we do continue with upside momentum coming into the end of the day today, then I would be looking at March 2020 and, again, December 2018 as very relevant for a fractal of that signal. March 2020 looked like this right here. Not actually as weak as what we see right now, to be fair, so there is a bit of a counterpoint right there, and I want to be as neutral as possible when presenting this information, because it's not for me to, trade for you or make the decision for you. Just give out the information, and then you make the best decision for yourself, obviously, as only you can. But we see something very similar over here. Base once, reject, base twice, and big move to the upside. Obviously, that was your macro low at basically 5,000 bucks before going unabated all the way up to, essentially 60,000 bucks. So with that in mind, we did also put in, or Bitcoin more accurately said, put in a bit of a ascending triangle right here, which is very similar, because that's exactly what's going on right now. Same thing over here, actually, in 2018 on the 3100 macro cycle low, where Bitcoin came all the way down to this area. And this one's very, very profoundly similar to the one that we're working on right now, where we come down first, base, reject, base twice, base thrice, and then boom, big move to the upside. Now, keep in mind, this did take another 2 months from that basing signal in order for it to have that full-on move from about 4,000 to 14,000. But again, another ascending triangle right here, another bullish accumulation formation. Now, if we go to our current structure, well, we have one massive ascending triangle that Bitcoin's been baking in for almost a year now. I mean, technically not a year, but 8 months, about quite some time. So a bigger consolidation does imply a bigger resolution, and we do see a very similar signature specifically to 2018, actually, where again it bases once, reject, bases twice, bases thrice. And if Bitcoin does maintain closures today, specifically today, above 46,800, then we will remain with upside momentum. And the next piece of the puzzle, now that we got yesterday's closure, which was obviously necessary, would be getting back above the critical zone, specifically above that last rejective high that we saw over here on 6th of December. Here's the problem though. Bitcoin's not trading CME does not trade over the weekend. So we'll have to wait until Monday for that to really be validated for the next sort of piece of the puzzle. But as of tonight's closure, which CME will be closing in 15 hours, 49 minutes, and 39 seconds, if you do see it maintain above, again, 46,800, that'd be the next sort of, short-term piece of the puzzle that you can be following up on to edge the favor in the BULAs here. Now, I want to take this a few more steps further, actually. That's going to be over here here on the secondary chart. Someone called this out yesterday, and looking at it, it's not my favorite indicator, but it does work. We do see on the daily MACD, we one have bullish divergence between the histogram right here, making lower lows in comparison to our December lows. So again, I'm comparing the November lows right here versus our December lows right here. Then also we actually will see the daily MACD cross the upside today with any sort of a closure above 47,500, which Bitcoin is pretty much trading at exactly right now. So if that condition is met, that will look good, obviously. And then I want to take this another step further over here on our Dixie chart, actually. So Dixie is going to be closing the weekly today. Today, Friday, that is, if you're in the Western Hemisphere and watching this video at a little bit of a later time. I just want to be very clear about that. And Dixie is very interesting right here. So obviously we had the FOMC meeting, not yesterday, but the day before that on Wednesday. And, this is essentially where you can kind of map out those movements most directly with the dollar, obviously. And what do we have right here? We have a rejection clearly at the supply zone right around the $97 level. Now, with that in mind, this is not a confirmed reversal just yet. Does it look good? Not necessarily, no. But if we do see a closure below specifically the 29th of November low, that's going to be $95.50, then I would call this a not just a rejection, it's also going to be a lower high on the macro schedule, and very likely does trade down at minimum to 94.25, and at maximum, well, at maximum could be zero, obviously, but at maximum we see a full-on shattering move to the downside over the next couple months, which is definitely possible. But first things first, need to actually confirm that, and that will be closing later today. And again, even if it doesn't close below the $95.50 region, it offers up the potential for next week. So we have a consolidation going on right here. The question is, does it reverse or not? I am starting to look at this as a bit more of a reversal. Why is that? Because if we go over here to a bi-weekly, we do have, or do we have hidden bearish divergence? No, we actually don't yet. Maybe on a monthly. Yeah, we would have, no, we wouldn't have it on a monthly either. So yeah, it's probably not looking good then, but still a little bit of a pullback probably does help out Bitcoin. And again, understand that Dixie is the dollar's value relative to other, basically other fiat currencies, a basket of other fiat currencies like the major ones, specifically, or most importantly, the euro dollar actually. That one holds I think more than 50% of the weight, something like that. It's absolutely massive. So if we actually go over the euro dollar chart over here, you can see that it's put in some nice lows. So I think that correlates rather well with what we're looking at right there for at least a bit of a short-term pullback, which should give Bitcoin a bit of a reprieve. Now, understand this really only matters on the macro scale. And to be fair, unless if we see something like this, it's not going to be like another macro move or anything like that. But ultimately something to be keeping an eye on, as well as this, another tangential thing that I think is rather important. That's going to be Ethereum Bitcoin right here, taking off all my drawn tools, all my indicators, everything. What do we have? We just have a clean and clear retest of the highs after the big bad breakout. Kind of, I wouldn't say exact, well, actually, yes, exactly as we did say, but I don't like using that terminology because it implies the wrong sort of mentality. It's not about I called it. It's not about I knew what was going to happen. No, it's all about statistics and probabilities. In this case, it was on that side, and I just want to be following up on that. The reason why this is relevant, the reason why I bring this one up, is because anytime that we have seen Ethereum Bitcoin bullish in the past, we have seen essentially Bitcoin in a macro uptrend, which I'll show you by the orange chart, the orange line chart in the background. So you can see here, if we put both of them on, well, we can actually keep them like this. Basically, they both trade very, very well with each other on the macro scale, meaning that anytime that Ethereum Bitcoin has an uptrend on the weekly, so does Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's typically, breaking out to the moon and beyond, and vice versa for the downside. But it it's correlated best off of Ethereum Bitcoin's weekly trend, that is. So you can see over here, for example, in 2018, where Ethereum Bitcoin put in its first lower high, right here. That's actually about where Bitcoin really did start to top out, a little bit before that, yes, but ultimately that's kind of what I'm looking at right there. So I did want to call that out, as that's also another sort of tangential thing to kind of, I guess, be a little more excited about, as what's realistic about this is that, it didn't just retest the breakout, it's really a continuation move. So if we're seeing continuation on Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, meaning that it's literally continuing from here with its uptrend, then obviously by definition we cannot have a lower high just yet, and so that would also be on a little bit of the boolah side here, I suppose, as well. Let me just go down my list a little bit more. Yes, we definitely need to get to this one as well. This one actually rather important. So also, if Bitcoin were to take the upside route from this region, again, as first to notified by the 49,300-ish region right here, which I am, hey, stop that. Yeah, there we go. The little red X right there, that high right there, 49,350 actually. On a 4-hour closure, that'd be the earliest sort of tangential, or sorry, documentable, verifiable thing on price action to be looking for a move to the upside. That would look good, obviously, as confirming this as a weekly low. And if this gets confirmed as a weekly low, it will also be a weekly higher low. And if it's a weekly higher low, then we would also have hidden bullish divergence present on weekly RSI between this point and this point, as we're already making lower lows on RSI, correlated with higher lows on price action. If we go over here to CME, same thing as well. And CME actually closes the week for today. So if CME does close the week as a reversal, which right now it is not. It is not, by the way. It is not anywhere near a reversal right now on weekly CME or anything indicating a local low. That would need to be had by popping back above basically like $50,000 or so by closing price today. Then we actually would have the same sort of thing on CME as well, with that hidden bullish divergence, which would be the next sort of, obvious signal for Bitcoin putting in the next major low within this region alongside the green 55 exponential average on the weekly. So all of that stuff does matter, obviously. Now, as far as timing this is all coming into a very interesting precipice right here. As I do go back to this chart, where is it? My moon charts. The moons are about to show you the way, baby. Hearken to the witches right now, because the witches know. The witches know everything. And I think that we have a Bula moon coming in, not tonight, but tomorrow night. The 18th, whatever the 18th is. Look, if you believe in the moons, which, to be fair, like the last year and a half, they have been very, very accurate, except for the second to last iteration right here. This was obviously not a great signal, to be fair, nor was this one over here. It still actually has a little bit over an 80% hit rate for the past year, a little bit over a year now. And we will be getting a Bula moon relatively soon right here. So that, I think, is of interest for the moon believers out there. Not saying that you should believe it or shouldn't believe in it, but something that has more than an 80% hit rate, that is an 80% hit rate, or a little bit more than that, actually. So that's, well, you make your own decisions, obviously. And then if also I bring up this sort of mentality as well, we've been looking at the third Friday as a big basing point and correlated with major highs and major lows in Bitcoin for the past year as well, of which I have them all mapped out right here. And they're typically around the 20th of the month. So around the 20th of the month, give or take like a day or two from that number, we do find many major highs and many major lows, some major, reversal points on Bitcoin essentially. And guess what? Right now we're on the 17th of December. So the 17th of December isn't just, around that 20th date, but it's actually kind of where Bitcoin's put in major lows and major highs over the history of it, now that I recognize it. But more importantly, the last one, this was obviously a high right here on the 20th of November. Not like the most obvious one, to be fair, or maybe not the most important one, to be fair, but yes, it did get that last high before the next major move to the downside. Obviously, the one before that was this major high right here, 20th of October. This one over here in 21st of September was a major low, obviously, and all of these are correlating with like almost $10,000 moves plus for basically all of them. The one before that was 19th to 20th of August on this major low before going about 10,000 to 53. This one over here was, of course, July 21st before basically your macro bear trap going all the way from 30 to 69. Of course, the one before that was this major low here, 22nd of December. This one over here was your 19th of May low. This one over here was your April lows. This one over here was around your March highs, actually. And this one over here was obviously your February 21st high. And this one over here was your January 21st low as well. So for the last year, it has been pretty damn consistent with that. Again, my sort of theory with that, not that it needs to be validated or not, is that it has to do with like rebalancing around major options expirations. But then again, that's a little bit too infused with traditional marks, because nowadays, I mean, there's options expirations every day, let alone every fucking week. So with that in mind, fair enough. It does seem to offer up a little bit of an insight, I do suppose. And if we do go over the history of Bitcoin, which I don't think. Well, do I want to do that right now? Probably not, no. But we do see some major highs and major lows coming in around the 17th of December, actually. The last macro cycle low was actually 17th of December right here. And I believe the last macro high before that was on the 17th of December in 2017. So just as a quick little fun action right there. I think even in the 2014-2015 cycle was around the same date anyways. So I want to get on to, for the last portion of this, the underlying market dynamics, of which the fear and greed index right now is showing actually yesterday's read. If you're looking at today's read, it's a 23, which is rather interesting, because if we go into the market data tab over here, you will notice that there is a lot of confluence, or sorry, not a lot of confluence, but a lot of similarities between what we see right here on Bitcoin's potential major low versus what we saw on the 40th, at the $40,000 weekly low, the prior weekly low, that is, in September right here. Now, Bitcoin's obviously been spending some more time within this fearful zone, but typically speaking, that's the time to be looking for, major lows, even if it is going to be an overall downtrend, typically speaking, you do see some nice rallies off that region, which are certainly tradable. Can it stay down there for longer? Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what we saw over the summer, but I don't think that we're seeing the same severity of the move that we saw over the summer. You know, the summer was a 50% move to the downside, absolutely shattering. And there was like a real threat over here that Bitcoin actually might have been done for a while. Now that Bitcoin actually has this price action over here, I still think that the most likely thing that we're kind of looking at is basically this, is basically one massive consolidation range, which, you know, it's going to look super obvious in hindsight, in my opinion. But, you know, as long as Bitcoin's above $40,000, that last weekly higher low, it's still that. It's still that, essentially. It's still an uptrend. That also means if Bitcoin breaks out to the downside below that 46,500-ish region and tests around, you know, 43 to 44,000 bucks, anywhere between there is fine. It's still just another higher low, actually, until Bitcoin gets continuation below 40,000. That's where the macro picture really starts to fall apart and looks a lot more abysmal, and probably looking at moves at minimum to the mid 30s, maybe even lower than that. But for right now, you know, if you are bullish, you're probably looking at something like this long term, which would have a measure move towards like 95 or 100,000 bucks upon validation above the top side resistance, which is like 60,000 bucks essentially. All right, cool. So I think we got through all of that. That was some fun action. Oh, Mr. Faraz, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. There's one last thing that I forgot to mention. Herp derp, you know, hit the herp and derp button or whatever that is. And then also actually have made a bit of a partnership with Bybit there. So if you do want to check them out, if you do want some reduced fees, if you do want the, I don't know, it's like $3,000 deposit bonus, whatever it is, you're free to use that link, of course. As always, whenever it comes to these sort of links, I can't do that in good faith without also telling you, hey, if you're not already a successful trader and you don't already have like good strategies that have been working, it's very unwise to start leverage trading. In fact, it would be very, unprofitable, typically speaking. Most people lose most of their money. About 80% of people lose all of, or just are never net winners in this case, within like a few years of giving it a go. Anyways, I want to say that if you are obviously already successful, then sure, yeah, go ahead, take advantage of it. But if you're new, the best thing to be doing is to be paper trading and getting some experience that way. You don't want to be the worst thing you can do when you first begin is by essentially risking your finances while you're in the learning phase, because the biggest impediment to you potentially getting to where you want to go is just losing your trading equity, which there's no reason to be losing your trading equity when you are quite literally learning, because you're probably going to be in that phase for a decent amount of time. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go, and nice. Sweet. Okay, so I think we got through all of that. That was beautiful, and I think it is time to get in over here and maybe look at some comments here. So let me just pull up what else has got going on over here. Again, if you're new, or sorry, if you're not if you're new, but if you haven't been to like the new sort of setup that we have here, what we're basically doing is we're going down the list in terms of super chat value first and foremost, so that we can make sure that we hit all of the people who are, you know, contributing a little bit more before the end of the stream and more relevantly, so that we can, it just makes more sense, to be quite honest with you, because we just have so many damn comments nowadays, which is awesome, but at the same time got to kind of filter through it. So I think Mr. Josh is first here today. He says namaste to you as well, good sir. You're TA nerd in the house, my fucking man. Ethereum Bitcoin backtesting breakout, weekly confirmation soon. When Ethereum fund for Elsa needs an Ethereum. She actually already has an Ethereum fund for herself. She's looking to buy some Prada bags, which she already went ahead and bought, and she's very happy about it. I don't know if you can see it in the background there. Maybe you can, just ever so slightly you can. It's actually on top of her computer, but it's very sparkly and it's very diamondy, which is great. Anyways, you want to look at Ethereum Bitcoin. Let's go pull it up over here. This is really fucking good, man. This is a textbook breakout, retest your breakout, and well, I'm still looking at the measure move. It's relevant alongside the 1.272 extension, which is about 9.4 to 9.5 million satoshis, and probably long-term continuation after that, after a bit of a pullback. Now, with that in mind, there is going to come with it, with that an invalidation, and that would be below 7.7 million satoshis, the same thing as before, on a daily or weekly closure in this case. But for right now, this is the exact response that you want to be seeing if you're on a weekly. So you're saying weekly confirmation soon. The weekly confirmed actually way back on over here in my opinion, late November, the last week of November, and we're just seeing our first pullback after that, which typically speaking is a buy in my experience, which is kind of what we said the other day, putting another higher low right here, hidden bullish evidence alongside that higher low. So I like this now as a basing point, basically 7.7 million satoshis, long above there, good, below there, then we have a fake out, and we can talk about major, massive, girthy red dildos to the downside, probably back down to like 7 million satoshis even, and well, things probably get even nastier after that, but for right now, man, I still like this chart. Of course, all higher term time frames are bullish on this one. Bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, everything basically is looking good. So you're just kind of getting your first pullback after a big bad breakout, and that's really all that I have to say about that one, man. I mean, it's just nice and cut and dry right there. So don't need to complicate things that don't need to be complicated. But short term time frames, a little bit of an ebb and flow right here. I wouldn't be expecting like new optimize today, for example, but a trading range for the next few days, likely to come perhaps over the weekend between 8.5 million satoshis and probably about 8 million satoshis even. Something like that, and that is completely fine. Again, invalidation below about 7.7 or 7.8 million satoshis until that happens. Generally good, just trading sideways and up from here, and let the trend be your friend, man. It doesn't need to be anything more crazy than that. But I also want to address, well, maybe you're not comfortable with talking about this on YouTube, but I won't use your friend's name or anything like that, or a specific example, but I think it would be helpful to kind of touch on a subject like this. Again, let me know if I'm stepping out of like tone here, but basically, Josh was kind of bringing up a situation to me where he was telling me about he has some friends, of which we all do. I mean, I could use some personal examples. In fact, I'll give some personal examples right now. So we all have friends when we get into trading that if they know that we're already trading or that we're already interested in some subject, in some aspect, they will then of course be that person to be very in some ways a little bit aggressive with asking you questions, which is great. You always want to be helpful towards your friends. But the problem is that a lot of the time your friends, or in my case, my friends that I don't have, would be essentially asking questions that they're not really truly interested in understanding the answers. They just kind of want like the, give me the fucking spoon right now, give me the, what's a metaphor that I'm looking for? Whatever it is, give me the spoon right now, basically. I don't want to put in the effort to actually learn it. I just want to continually ask you questions and questions and questions, which becomes like kind of a black hole. And it's difficult to deal with people like that in our lives, just because, it's not fulfilling to be working with someone who doesn't really have any true interest in actually learning it, and it's just kind of like it almost feels like they're using you in a sense. And the best way to kind of handle that in my experience is just not engage those people in serious conversations. They obviously can still be friends, no shit, like just relax, right? But at the same time, we also have to be very protective of our most important asset, which is time, right? Time is the only asset which you can't get more of. No matter how much money you have, you can't buy more time. I mean, you can buy better medicine and everything, maybe, but you can't like buy fucking 100 more years of your life, right? So my point is that when you encounter people like that, I found it best to like not engage them seriously until they actually show some sort of real intent to actually learn it, because otherwise it's just going to be a very one-sided relationship with which no one likes, right? It's going to make you probably resent them, or yeah, it's probably going to be, I mean, I know that I start to resent people that do that with me, and so it's just fucking annoying. So it's best to, it's best to kind of sidestep a situation like that in my experience. Anyways, we'll move on to Mr. Moose Down Under now. Huva Huamenta. Yes, that's me. Or no, I'm Krown. And that's Elsa. And that's Finnish. That's some fucking Finnish right there. Anyways, you're looking at Gala, please. Daily, weekly, and whatever you like. All right, fair enough. Ketos. Nice. Sambar and Hakanemi. Sambar and Hakaniemi. I think I know that one. Well, Elsa doesn't, but I don't know. Oh yeah, we can't even go there, man. You actually have to have the vax in order to go to like nightlife nowadays in Helsinki, or restaurants too. Yeah. So that's new. Anyways, Gala. Let's go look at Gala over here. You're looking at a daily and weekly. Hey, that's not the ticker. That's not the fucking ticker right there. And again, I'm not saying that anyone shouldn't or should take the old flu shot there, but just make the decision for yourself, obviously. Anyways, Gala, consolidating at best, man, holding the low. I'm guessing we have the same chart here. Oh, what do you fucking know? The same chart. In fact, I'd actually move the bottom side resolution of this quite significantly, basically down to the 55 in this case. Doesn't really mean much right there. Look, I don't think this one's doing anything too interesting anytime soon. If you're on the daily and weekly, what are you looking at right here? You are pretty much looking at a range between about 39 cents versus 64 cents the upside. It's not very helpful. If you're on the 4 hour, I could cut that range quite significantly. In this case, that would be below 46 cents on a 4 hour closure. I do look for this one to dip back down somewhere around about 39 to 41 cents or so, and very likely try for another low within that region. Long term on a weekly, not an interesting chart right here. A little bit too new to really be making much out of. I think at best, again, kind of same thing as yesterday. It's going sideways for a while, and you'll probably see some moves to the downside, moves to the upside, and then gives another try to the, above the critical level, 64 cents. Obviously, that would imply big problems below about 39 cents, especially on a higher term time frame closure. Until then, sideways is good for the boulas, but it is a little more poised to test some downside here, to be fair. If we go on to a 4 hour, well, you didn't really ask about a 4 hour, so maybe it's not relevant to you. Maybe I'm just wasting your time. Apologies about that. All right, cool. Let's see. Is she serious? Who serious? I don't know. Gohan's mom, Jeannie, says, your joke about Rosa Parks yesterday was very hurtful. I was talking about vampires. Yeah, you're actually not the first person to say that. So maybe I didn't express that well enough. But I think it was quite clear, at least hopefully it was quite clear, that I was talking about fucking vampires, not Rosa Parks. But yeah, if that was hurtful, just understand that wasn't the intent. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make fucking bad jokes sometimes. It's just the nature of the business. But yeah, I wasn't talking about Rosa Parks. I was talking about vampires. So yeah, I'll just leave that right there. Anyways, sorry, that one just caught my eyes really quickly. I think we go back up here and we go to, oh really? He says Luna to the Moona. Sure. All right, we got Luna over here. Luna on Binance, and what do we have? This one's still operating as one of the better ones. And still looking pretty damn good. So let's actually record a video on this one. Here we have Terra Luna, symbol LUNA versus the dollar, and Luna still among some of the better charts here. Bullish as long as you're above $52. You do have your higher lows right there. You do obviously have actually no hidden bullish evidence, but you do have a nice consolidation at a high level here. This is good. This is obviously long-term healthy as long as you remain above that $52 region. Below $52, I do look for corrections all the way down to low 40s, somewhere between about 41 to 43 or so. Until then, sideways good for the boulas. Where's the next major area to be aware of? On a daily, I would still be looking for a closure above about 60, what was that, 66, basically 66 and a half on a daily closure. If you're using a 4 hour in this case, I would say that it's actually significantly higher than that for an upside resolution. In this case, when I say upside resolution, I mean testing all-time highs and making new all-time highs within the few weeks to come after that. But that would be above 71 and 37 and a half. Above there, I do look for official retest of about $85. Very likely a short-term pullback from there, and then long-term continuation. In this case, I imagine probably $100 going to be like a next major target, right? About $98 to $100 or so. That's where I kind of be looking for a long-term. Again, bullish as long as you're above 52. Just a little bit more sideways here is completely fine. And I do want to check it out from this angle as well, just to see if daily momentum is also heading up alongside this one. That would make it a little bit more of a threatening move more immediately. And yeah, it is. Any sort of a closure today above 62 and a half would do it. So I would feel comfortable saying, yeah, if you do get the daily closure, especially above 66 and a half, then that condition will be met. Momentum remains the upside, and well, very likely does give a move, perhaps over the weekend, but very likely early next week. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Luna, sir. Actually quite good. Elliot Diggs, good morning, man. Is trading DMI crosses and threshold crosses on 24 hours for medium-term trades decent? That's okay. So you're asking a question, but the problem is that you don't have context with it. Is it going to be for medium-term trades decent? I don't know. First off, don't know what the fuck medium-term trade means to you. Is it a medium-term hold? Is it a medium-term scalp? Is it a medium-term time frame? I don't know. I have no idea what the hell this is. What this means to you within your own definitions. More importantly, what you should be doing is you shouldn't be asking me a question like this. You should be backtesting it in the exact way that you're considering trading it, and then you will know. And you don't need to ask me actually, because I don't fucking know. I've been backtested it like that. I don't use the DMI like that, nor do I really use the DMI at all, to be honest with you. But if I was going to use the DMI, it's a momentum oscillator. So as a momentum oscillator, am I looking for simple crosses to take trades? No, that is not the way to fucking trade momentum oscillators. For the love of fucking God, you're going to lose a shit ton of money doing that. What you should be doing, or at least the way that I found them most effective, is when you see a momentous cross on any time frame alongside a break of a current range, then you do have typically a nice trade. However, within the context of your question, I don't think that there's you need to have a fucking plan, man. That's not a plan. That's not a plan. You're gonna lose a lot of money trading that way. No, just to shoot you straight, man. You need a fucking plan. If I was gonna trade a DMI cross that way, I'd trade it in the same way that I trade most momentum offsets. I need to see a break of a level alongside momentum shifting in that direction, and then I'm probably scalping that range. I'm not looking to like hold or anything, but again, I don't know what medium trades means to you. I have no idea what that means to you, sir. So I can't go any further than that without probably doing some harm instead. Anyways, I see the real Stagger Roach says time versus min, please. Okay. All right. Not familiar with this one. That is not a ticker, sir. Like this. This is not going to be a thing, man. I'm guessing you just want to look at maybe time, because I do recognize that one as a... fucking hell, man. It's only trades versus Bitcoin, Ethereum, Spell. Oh, God, man. You've really done it now, haven't you? We'll look at it versus Bitcoin. This is a monstrosity of a chart, man. Let's see, is this... Okay, this thing actually has a chart. That's better. All right, we'll look at this thing. MIM. Oh, motherfucker! Sir, for the love of God. For the love of God, man. Why do you guys want to look at this stuff? Ah! I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. Looks like a line. This is not a tradable thing. maybe time versus Bitcoin. I mean, Jesus Christ, like these are all just terrible charts, but this is probably going to be the best one out of all the monstrosities we've seen. I mean, long term, it seems to go up and to the right, which is good. I mean, this is a long-term uptrend. That's great, but no time frames given. No time frames given, and I'm not even looking at the right base pair for you, but I guess bullish as long as you're above 1.3 cents. Not very helpful. Again, I don't know what time frame you're looking at, but yeah, I don't think that this stuff is really that relevant for charting, except for just trend in this case, to be honest with you. All right, cool. Move on from there. Let's see. We have Mr. or Miss. No, Mr. Bob. What?
What was the previous one?
That was the real Stagger Roach. Okay, cool. Let's see. Bob Samarsdick says OITX Daily Weekly. Got it. Oh, nice. We got time frames. We got base pairs. This is good. This is really good. All right. So you're saying for what exactly? For the P2 crew? I don't know what that means, but does seem to be like putting a nice little complex low right there. We do have, or do we have, bullish evidence? Let's see. We hit a 37.71 right there versus a 37.45 right there. Actually, no, we do not have bullish evidence, but man, that one is close as all hell. I would move down the resolution point for a bit of a daily rally back above 13.15, a daily closure above there, and I would look for a rally somewhere back around about 15 to 15.5 cents, and that's going to start to look a lot better for this one as operating as a low. But for right now, you know, long term, it does like to rally and hold its lows, which is a good sign. Problem is, I don't think you're going to be doing anything super interesting to the upside, like long term. Probably something like this if things work out, and then maybe gives a try to the upside, you know, over a longer period of time. Obviously, this thing's going to be bearish as all hell and lose its current structure below about 10 cents. Not very helpful right there. It's just basically your current lows. But below there, there's no longer hopium for a while. I'd be looking for some doomium back down to 7.7 cents. So basically, kind of summarizing it up, just, you know, long-term sideways at best, with short-term, an easily tradable event back up about 13.15 or so. But other than that, man, not much doing right there. All right, cool. I think we got that one. Let's move over here. I think we have, who do we have next? We have, hey, what's up, folks? Let's see. We have Jack Jansen next. He wants to look at Dusk USD 4 on daily. Sure, man. Let's see. Dusk. Okay. Dusk USD right here. Oh, pretty good, actually. Yeah, this is the one that we looked at over the past few days. That was pretty damn good. I still would say it's pretty damn good. You're getting your first pullback right here. That's okay. I look at this one is quite bullish still. We can actually move back the resolution point for a reversal below 44, basically 44.5 cents on a daily closure. Until then, looking for a little bit of sideways right here on your first consolidation. Probably even comes back down and tests around 46 to 46.5 cent. But as long as you're above 44.5 cent, I do look at this as, you know, a breakout in progress. Just getting your first pullback on this one, and very likely does try higher over time. Now, I am curious to see if we did hit a major area on this one. So let me just plot this right for our current wick areas. There we go. Okay, let's get the whole thing. Yeah, you are selling off on your first test of the 1.618. That is to be expected, and you're coming down to the 1.272 now. So this is kind of par for the course. But can it come down a little bit more? It actually looks like it wants to. Again, the big area to be aware of is 44.5 cent below there. Big problems. Until then, I'm just looking for first pullback and then probably long-term continuation on this. Yeah, this one actually does have a decent amount of history going back to 2019. I mean, it's not great, but it's better than most. It's better than most, especially that last like time thing that we looked at. What the fuck was that thing? Yeah, I'm just looking for a consolidation here, man. Bearish below 44.5 cent until then, just short-term sideways and down, and probably tries for another higher low. Let's see. Nick Jansen says, hey, my friend. Hello, sir. Let's see. Have you looked into Casper CSPR? I'd love your thoughts on it. Have I looked into it? Like as far as fundamentals go, no, I don't do that. But I can look at charts, man. I can definitely look at charts for you. That's not a helpful chart. That's very new. That's a monstrosity. All right, there we go. Okay, so CSPR, again, no time frames given. So where do you go with that? All right, sweet. Let's see. Daily below about 1170, kind of same thing as before, I think. Sorry, is that 1170? 1130 in this case is where this one starts to lose its structure. But you know, long term, I mean, you still got your higher lows within this region right here. Big breakout above about 15. Sorry, that's not 1580. That's 1920. Okay, all my numbers are fucked up on the right hand side there. So I was measuring something out, but more importantly, 1920 is a big area to be aware of on the upside. For right now, I would be looking for higher lows within this region right here on your medium and higher term timeframes, of which you do have baking in on a daily, 2-day, and probably even a 5-day. Yeah, even a 5-day here as well. But that doesn't get confirmed as a little bit of a stop and reversal point until you get back above 1435 on a daily. So closing back above there would really start to solidify this as your next major higher low within this, what would be accumulation formation over a long period of time. It doesn't necessarily need to happen today, but what would negate all of this is essentially popping back down and breaking the last daily low, which is 1170, or sorry, not 1170. I keep on doing that one. It's 1120. If we go to a 4-hour, you could probably even use 1170 as a bit of a basing point for a short-term area, but I don't think that's what you're looking at right there. Short-term, it does look a little more poised to test some downside, however, so I would be cognizant of that. Again, you know, at best, it's going a bit sideways here and probably tries for a local low. At worst, you do break that 1120-ish region, and then well, and then I guess I'm looking towards 1 cent even, and probably lower than that over time after a bit of a bouncy bounce. Cool. All right. Let's see. Let's move on from there. We have What the Fuck Crypto. He says, oh, it is Richard. My bad. Richard Swartz says, apologies if you already covered it, but Ethereum Bitcoin pair looks bullish to me. Yep, we did cover it earlier. And yeah, I would agree with it. I mean, it got its first pullback, setting a higher low, bullish above 7.7 million Satoshis to kind of summarize that one up very, very comfortably. MIM is basically a stablecoin. Oh, well, we could have just looked at it versus the dollar then, but it doesn't trade versus the dollar, unfortunately. Anyways, What the Fuck Crypto says AVAX 12-hour and daily. Sure. Let's pull this one up over here. So much better ride than XRP. Yes, AVAX is a lot better looking than XRP. I'd agree. I'd certainly agree with that. It's also probably more of, you know, never mind. I don't want to get into the. I don't want to summon the XRP army on this one, man. I'm not fucking dying on that hill. No way. No fucking way, man. 12-hour and daily. Okay, should we record this one? Should we not record this one? You do have a bit of a short-term basing point at $96.50. Below there, I do look for this one to actually retest back down towards your current low side structure, that being like $82 to $80 or so. Until then, consolidating above 96.5 is completely fine. We did say that there was going to be likely a pullback there yesterday. That's again fine. We got that essentially. And now I'd say even a 4-hour closure below about 96.25 would do it for me for having a short-term breakdown. Until then, consolidating above this region is fine. Just be looking for a bit of sideways right here, and any sort of a break above yesterday's high, just a wick above there at one. Oh, it did hit 110 perfectly, beautiful. Then I'd be looking for the next level to be hit, which is around 115 or so. And again, long-term, you know, one of the better structures right here, no doubt about that. Just taking its time, obviously. And the big focus right now is on the weekly. The weekly is going to have a chance to print in and confirm a not bearish, but bullish engulfing dildo right here, which will imply moves back onto the prior all-time highs and probably onwards and forwards from there, as this would also confirm hidden bullish evidence right here. And that's kind of, you know, your more traditional signal for this one. So if I had to call it right now, I actually do think that this one pushes through maybe in the next week or two. Assuming that you do close as bullish engulfing. But for right now, you know, one of the better, more immediate charts, I would say, as it did salvage itself above some pretty critical areas. And also very important, and perhaps even to supersede the weekly right here, is the 5-day. The 5-day already closed as a bullish engulfing. So if I had to call it over the next 5 to 10 days, I would be looking for this one to retest around your current highs, that being like 120 to 130 or so, and, you know, probably gives another try up from there. You do have hidden bullish evidence on the 5-day, and it is looking quite good. Just be aware of 96. What was it, 96.25? Below there, I look for another retest of the lows. That's not like super problematic. Obviously, your big problem areas are going to be below about, what is it, like 77 or so. Hopefully that was helpful. There you go, sir. And oh, I just realized I got my water right here. I'm gonna take a sippy sip of this and then we'll get back into it. What is going on with all this Rosa Parks stuff? I don't think I even mentioned the word Rosa Parks yesterday. Yeah, I made a joke about vampires, but she was basically like this. Okay, I don't want to explain this right now. Like, for fuck's sake, like, this is not the conversation I want to be having. For the love of fucking God, look, if it's not intended to be offensive, please do not take offense, because otherwise, you know, it's just causing internal issues that don't need to be fucking caused. And I think it goes without saying that, like, obviously I'm not fucking racist. Like, Jesus Christ, even just saying that is just ridiculous, kind of ridiculous. I don't know, kind of ridiculous, but maybe some things do need to be said. Whatever. Kevin fucking one says, morning Krown, good morning, sir. AVAX Ethereum 4-hour Huobi, sure. Looks like it broke through resistance, 0.25. Maybe I haven't looked at AVAX versus Ethereum. I don't think I've actually ever looked at it, but I remember looking at Matic versus Ethereum, which is quite good. Has it broken through resistance? No, it hasn't, but it's going to have a chance to do it today. Any sort of a daily closure today, basically above 2,600 where it's at right now, will do it. It's not really much of a chart here to be going off of, but if that does happen, I'm looking for this one to play up to like 27 or 2,800 or so, and it looks generally good, but not really much to be going off of right here. It's kind of the same thing as the US dollar chart, you know, looking at that last 4-hour low, basically 2,400 or so. As long as you're above there, I look at this one as trending to the upside right now. And based upon today's daily closure, yeah, well, that would probably spring upon the next move. So a little bit of patience here, but overall pretty damn good. Cool. All right, let's see. Who do we have next? I think we have Mr. Jake Anderson next. He says Golem Network. Golem. Is this the one from 2017? Oh man, it's on Bittrex. Yeah, it might be. In Poloniex, this might actually be. Wow, hold on. I haven't seen this thing since 2018. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God, man. Oh my Lord, this thing is awful. On Bittrex, weekly time frame looking for a reversal. Sir, what reversal are you talking about? This thing's never been in an uptrend. I'm looking for a reversal. There's never been one in the history of this asset, but I'm looking for it right now. Sorry, man. I don't think there's any talks of look, I can tell you where this thing would reverse. Where does it actually reverse? Need to see a weekly closure. And look, here's a real chart, man. This is really fucking bad. This is what's going to happen to most coins from this current cycle, is they're going to become irrelevant like this. Sorry, you need to see like kind of where it's starting from. Like, you get this first initial major move to the upside, and then after that, it's a dead heartbeat, man. This is dead. Unless if they have like some major massive thing upcoming soon that you know about. Well, I don't have any reason to believe that this thing is anything other than a dead heartbeat. Where do you have a reversal talk? Reversal talk is not anytime soon. It'd be above 29.35, which doesn't look like much on this chart, but if you actually measure it out, that's good. That's about a 264% move to even reverse on a weekly, which is addressing your specific question. Until then, anything on the lows is just that on the lows. I guess the next short-term thing that you could maybe be excited for is above 1580. If you can close above there, probably does go for a nice rally, but reversal talk doesn't really happen until you're back above that region right there. And again, this thing has never been in a weekly uptrend, like not even once in the history of its life. So it's, at least in my experience, not too wise to be looking for weekly reversals on things that have only ever gone down. I mean, it's fucking garbage, man. As far as charts go, look, you might really, really like the project or the fundamentals. That's a different game. And if you have insider information, hey man, that's going to be more powerful. But I do not have insider information, and just based off the chart, I'm led to believe that this thing is probably not going to be doing anything different than it's ever done its whole life for the past 4 or 5 years now. Cool. Let's see. I think Blue Sky Crypto is next. Says, really love your market analysis. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I've been following you since late 2018. Holy shit, an OG of the cave, and it's your first time chatting. Well, good morning. Good morning, and good to meet you, man. And I also really love Elsa's laugh. Nice, man. That's good. And there he is, African Crypto Warlord. I see you over there, brother. I see you over there. All right, sweet. Elsa's getting frustrated in the background. Look. Okay, all right, fair enough. Anyways, let's see what we have now. I think it is time for Mr. 6 Beats. Yeah, it's Mr. 6 Beats TV, KDA 1 and 4 hour. Cool, man. I'm glad to hear that you're getting some value from it. That's awesome. All right, so KDA. Again, like Jeannie, I don't know what to tell you, but there was no mention of that name. We're making a joke with some. I can't believe I have to explain this. All right. I think I'm I think I'm just done with that. I'm done with that one. 1 and 4 hour. All right, so what do we have right here? Does look like a nice local low. My LARP lines are actually somewhat working right there, but again, that's just LARP lines. Where does this one actually change around? Basically the exact area that I got rejected from yesterday on even a 4 hour above 1340. I do look for this one to play back up somewhere around your 16 to $16.5 highs. Until then, short term, well, once you test resistance and reject from it, typically going to go test support. In this case, I would be looking at a short-term pivot right here, right around 1070 in this case. Below 1070, I do look for another run at your current bottom side of the daily, actually, which is like $9 or so. Still, I wouldn't get like super bearish on this one as long as you're below, as long as you're above $9. But below $9, this one does lose its whole posturing and very likely falls through the floor down to 6.5 to 670 or so. Personally speaking, I do think that it pushes on through here, but even just a daily closure above basically anywhere above $12.5 is going to look really, really good for at least a continuation drive towards that $16 to $16.5 region. That looks good, but Bitcoin starting to show a little bit more weakness right here is not looking good. Is not looking good at all. So looks like we're going to test the bottom side of Bitcoin's formation, which is not going to be a signal of strength right now, but hey, still a long day left to go, and until we actually break one of the more critical regions, well, I wouldn't be front running any decisions right here. Anyways, okay. Elliot Diggs wants to clarify something. I meant DMI crosses for long-term holds. Why would you use a momentum oscillator for crosses for long-term holds? Makes absolutely zero sense. You have to. I did see it, but spot not leverage. Doesn't matter. DMI crosses for long-term holds on a daily. First off, daily is not a long-term hold time frame, at least in my opinion. When you're talking about long-term, I mean like months or even years. And DMI's momentum oscillator, it's probably not very wise to be using that for a long-term trade. That's momentum trade, which typically are more short-term. And not trending. So you probably want something that's a little more akin towards a trend trade, which is probably going to be, well, you can use a million different indicators for that. Maybe just trend, for example. Anyways, I think we have Tabin next. He says, morning, sir. Hex versus Ethereum on Uniswaps, please. Looks like there's some busting action going on. Yeah, we looked at this one yesterday. Actually had a pretty good move to the upside and probably looking for continuation there. So I imagine this one is probably doing the same, actually, and it is doing the same. Look at that. Not bad of a move right there. You are right at you're almost at your next sort of major area to be aware of. That's going to be 637,500 or so. Above there, I do look for this one to go on a pretty big rally, actually, back up to about 882,000 butyrols, actually. So short term, very likely another drive continuation. I would be looking for a bit of a pullback around this region. And then if you do close above it by end of day, I'd extend that rally significantly. Weekly, again, it's probably likely to extend from here. I don't think that this rally is done. Same thing with the US dollar pairing. I don't think that the rally is done. It probably gets somewhere around, here. And then if you are going to see a lower high, I'd be looking for highs right there and then come back down. But again, this is a blow off top right here. So while I do think that it rallies up here, I think that this is very likely going to be the next, basically dead cat bounce, to be quite honest with you. But hey, if you can start to close above about, 900,000? Yeah, 900,000 butyrols, then bullish as fuck, I guess, but I don't want to feed you too much hopium here, man, because I would be very defensive against a chart like this. But yeah, short term is very likely up and very likely does extend the rally. It's actually quite good right here, to be fair. That is a quite strong low for a nice rally. Let's see. Okay, all right. Did I miss Jack? I think I might have. I didn't actually see him. Yeah, I didn't see you. I didn't actually see him. But we can look at Matic versus the dollar. Sure. I'll trust Jack. I mean, he's here every day. We have a good relationship, so I got full faith in you, sir. Anyways, Matic getting rejected right at the 220-ish region, our sort of continuation region for our short-term time frame at daily range. That's fine. Again, we said that was kind of likely. Trading a bit more sideways here is fine. Probably does us some short-term downside. Maybe I record this one, actually. Let's go to a 4 hour. Yeah. All right, here we have Polygon symbol MATIC versus the dollar. And we did play out our same range from yesterday, essentially 220 to the upside versus 180 to the downside. As long as it's also between those two regions on a daily closing basis, I'm not looking at any major breakdowns or breakouts, but it is long-term implied bullish. Now, short-term on a 4 hour, we do have a local high right here. And if this thing does close basically anywhere below about $2 and basically anywhere about below about 203 or 202 especially, I would be looking at one more drive towards your current low side structure, just around 190 to basically somewhere around about 190 or so. Again, bullish as long as above 180. Below 180, it does start to lose its daily structure, and I do look for moves down towards 150 to 160-ish region. But until then, going sideways here is fine, with still the same breakout resolution point to the upside above 220, which would imply moves back onto your prior optimize and very likely beyond. On top of that, if we go over here, I imagine that this one's still more or less corrective on the higher term timeframes. Yeah, daily is downside angle as long as below 216. Okay, 5-day, which just closed last night, is upside angle as long as above 190. So that is kind of actually a big area. And weekly will turn back up above 195. So I'd say I'd be looking for the next big signal over the weekend. On Sunday's closure, anywhere above 195, I do look for this one very likely to, not just retest 220, but very likely take it out and initiate runs towards its prior all-time highs. And well, after that, probably looking at $3 plus, in the following weeks or so. But for right now, if we go back down to the very short-term timeframes, yes, very likely to play out some short-term downside moves. All lower-term timeframes kind of downside angle right there. So coming back down to again below 202 on a 4-hour closure, I would look for this one to correct a little bit further south first and play out more and more sideways. Again, something like this is probably what you're looking at, and then go sideways and sideways, sideways, and then back above 220. That's the big area right there. Until then, sideways at best, but overall pretty damn good setup for the long term. It's just, one massive ascending triangle looks like. So fair enough, and hopefully that was helpful for Matic Sir. Nice one, man. All right, let's see. I think we are on to Mr. DYOR. Time chart versus dollar. Okay. Man, this is a lot of work for something that you can't even trade. All right. Okay. Well, fair enough. Okay, you're going to do W. Like, I don't really see the relevancy of looking at something like this if you can't actually trade it, and it's just a god-awful garbage chart, and I don't even know which one I'm looking. I guess I'm looking at time versus USD maybe. Pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad, man. You're probably going to get a pity bounce soon just because of you're retesting your all-time lows. Not much of a long-term chart, though. You only got a couple months of history here, but you're going to get a pity bounce very likely somewhere around your September lows right here, which you're basically dipping into right now. So maybe one more drive to the downside and then another pity bounce, but understand that pity bounce is not the same thing as reversal. I mean, this thing can pop all the way up towards here and just put in another lower high. Anything below here is just another lower high. I mean, this is garbage. That's what it is, man. It's not good. And again, I'm not necessarily certain that this is, well, I mean, if you can't actually trade this thing, maybe you can on like some bizarre exchange, but it can't be found on TradingView. So, but if you can't actually directly trade this thing, I mean, well, fair enough. I mean, it's whatever. You can, of course, you can do whatever the fuck you want, man. But as far as charts go, not a very compelling chart, I would say that. But you are probably looking at a bounce relatively soon. And, well, going up to 4,900 or even 6,000 is not out of the question. But pretty ugly. Definitely pretty ugly there. Long term. Let's see. We have Mr. Vince next. Vince says Rose USD 1 and 4 hours. Sure, man. Is it bullish? I don't know. Let's see. I think this was one of the more interesting ones that we saw over the past few days. Is it bullish? It's sideways, but as long as it does hold above about 24 cents, 23.40 that is, I do look at this as good, but short term it is very likely to come down and test around there. 4 hour is a bit of a short term breakdown, looking for 25 cents in the short term. Can it tag 23.40 after that? Yeah, no problem. But big problems below on a daily closure, that 23.40-ish region, and that would very likely insinuate test back down around here. Towards that 4th or 6th of December wick low. Until then, holding within this range is good. If you do something like this and then bounce up and then bounce sideways and then take out the 36.40-ish region to the upside, that's going to look really, really good. But for right now, it's going sideways at best with short-term downside implied. So hopefully that was helpful right there. Is it bullish? Yeah, I wouldn't call it bullish. It's consolidating at best and short-term down. J. Philippek says, thoughts on CPRT? Okay, this is a real stock. Nice. Okay, CPRT. This is good. All right, thank the fucking Lord. Copart. Looks to me like it's putting in a bit of a complex low right here. That will be confirmed with any sort of a daily back above 151. Short term, don't want to see it violate below 144 because that is kind of like your current higher low. Hey, what the fuck? Hold on. If you look at a 4 hour, we don't see the same price action as a daily, which is annoying. I wonder why that is. That is bizarre. But anyways, I'm going to go with the daily in this case. Below 144, this one is not just likely to test like 142. It's likely to completely fail long term. But for right now, I do look at this as a bit of it's kind of a diamond reversal, to be fair. Only confirmed above 151, and then that would have targets back up towards 155 to 156 region over time. But for right now, go back to a 4 hour. Yeah, I mean that's basically the range, man. Until you resolve one side or the other, I wouldn't be making any calls on it. I'm not really leaning towards one side or the other either right now. It's a little bit more, I guess, on the reversal-ish side to the upside, but you know, that means nothing until you get back above 151. So it's just better to kind of go neutral and something like that. And Bitcoin coming back down to $47,000 even now, actually. So let's see, is she going to test the 46,500-ish region, the very critical one, the one to rule them all right now? Is she likely to just dump it out right here and just do one of these? Just do one of these? It might just be, man. It might just be. It would be absolutely fucking poetic if we actually did play at the measure move to the downside first and then bounce like that. Something like that would just be beautiful. That would just be fucking beautiful. Get everyone out of this market. Anyways, let's see. Francis C. Jr. says GameStop. Oh, GameStop. So I've been pretty bearish on this one for a long time. Let's see if I should still be bearish on it. Still looks pretty bearish to me, man. Still looks pretty fucking bearish to me. So it had its chance actually in October. That would have been its chance to actually pull through on the continuation back up to, you know, $500 probably. But that obviously failed. And well, getting a bit of a bounce right here. Probably even tries for another bounce to be fair as well. But this thing is the inevitable. The inevitable is the inevitable, sir. It's bad. It's quite bad. You know, probably likely to bounce into the end of the year, I suspect. But opening up in Q1 of 2022, I'm looking for this thing to come down first to about $75 to $80. Give another try for a bounce there, and then inevitably sometime maybe like late 2022, this thing, you know, I've been saying this for a long time, and it's very likely coming back down below $50, maybe even $20 long term. This thing has no business trading up there, so I actually feel quite validated on this one from a while ago. A lot of people were very I wouldn't say rude, but very maybe aggressive or passionate. Yeah, passionate. A lot of people are very passionate about this thing. Understand, it ain't fucking passionate about you back. And, you know, the games that can be played in this are immense. And, yeah, pretty ugly here, man. But probably does bounce into the end of the year. And then next year, I'd look for this one to come down significantly. But I don't know what time frame you're going off because you did not specify there. Let's see. Yeah, I did J Philip as well, and Vince and DYOR. Let's see. Okay, I think we go back to the top now, and let's see what else we got going on right here. Heroin, good morning, says Crypto Apparel. What's up, man? And thank you for that nice message. Good morning to you as well, sir. Let's see what else we have. Connor O'Connor says RSR, please, for 4 hour and hour. Okay, RSR, USD. Okay, it is reserve rights, and let's go to a 4 hour, not a weekly maybe. Looks a lot different than Bitcoin. That's kind of weird. I would have expected this one to be trading to the downside of its range alongside Bitcoin, but it's not. Now you do have a lower high right here, which I expect we already have in actually. This was, I don't know. I don't think we looked at this one yesterday, but either which way, still not great as long as you're below about 3.5 cents. Above 3.5 cents, I do look for this one to test all the way up towards 4 cents, maybe even more over time. For right now, it's not a confirmed local high. You will have problems short term below 3.2 cents, very likely implying another move towards your current lows from 15th of December. And then obviously closing below there, which is like 2.8 cents. I'd be looking for this thing to get absolutely fucking wrecked. But for right now, it's actually holding up relatively well compared to what Bitcoin's doing. But I think that this one might just be a laggard on Bitcoin's move. I don't know. I don't really trust it, to be honest with you. Hourly downside, looking for probably 3.2 cents. Any sort of a closure below there on a 4 hour or an hourly closure below about 3.1.5 cents, and I'll be looking for this one to retest lows and probably breaks down from there, to be fair. But for right now, it's okay. You should have hidden bearish difference between this point and this point, but you do not have the local high confirmed just yet, and above 3.5 cents good, which actually would be looking like a much more solidified low on the daily with targets back up north of 4 cents or so. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. Let's see. We got Vox next. He is looking at block, 6 hour and daily. Okay, block. I remember last we looked at this one, or not last, but like the last few times we looked at this one, it completely lost its formation and it's been losing it ever since. So not good right here, man. I think it's time to redo this chart for our current information. If you want to be looking at the daily, which I think we were looking at lower term timeframes before. You know, here's your current short-term base. I'm not going to feed you hopium, man. It doesn't fucking look good, but I would call a bit of a daily reversal back above 7.8 cents with targets at minimum back up towards 10 cents, and that would look a lot better for this asset. Long-term, nothing exciting about this thing at all as long as you're below 14 cents. It's not helpful because that's basically your highs. In this case, short-term, very likely retesting that base at 5.8 to 5.9 cents. Any sort of a 4 hour closure below there, and I look for this thing to go for major continuation in this case. Next stop somewhere down around about 4.8 cents. And you probably see Bitcoin break down too if that was going to be the case. But at minimum, very likely test around your current lows, and then I'll be seeing if it closed below there, then big problems. Until then, not great, man. Another drive of hidden bearish divergence right there, and volatility is about to tick up. So that is not a good setup for what it's worth right now. But hey, if I'm looking for reversals, 7.8 cents is the big area to be aware of. Cool. Let's see. Okay, we got that one. Mr. Ravenster says XCAD USD, all time frames, like literally all of them. All of them is quite a lot, man. Could do like the 4 hour and daily maybe, but you want me to go through like a 5 minute, an hourly, of 2 hour, like literally all of them. This one, another one of the better charts here actually. Look at this. It's set in a higher low. It's set in a higher low right here. We also have hidden bullish divergence alongside that low. Just want to see it close or just even trade above yesterday's high at 737. Would look really good for another test towards the top side of your major range. That's going to be about 835. Long term, this would start to look something like this, which is an ascending triangle. So reaccumulation, basically at your all-time highs. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily ready to break out to the upside just yet, or I can get rid of this for right now. So it's just noise. But breakout of 835 and, well, at that point, I'm looking for this one to play out a measured move, which I imagine is going to be, let's actually see it. It's probably going to be somewhere around the 1618. Probably around like $10, $11 if that condition is met. Obviously, problems below about 590, but for right now, on a 4 hour, it's actually looking okay, man. I would call a short-term local high here, though, with the 4 hour back down below 658, with targets back down to low side of the range. But even that is like not super problematic. Problems arise again below about 585, 590-ish region. That's where this one loses structure. Until then, this one actually has momentum and trend in its favor and just consolidating a high region. Probably looking at a breakout later this month, assuming all goes well. But a lot of things can happen, obviously. So I'd probably want to come back to that one too, especially if Bitcoin breaks down. I mean, it'd be kind of bizarre if that one held up while Bitcoin breaks down. But hey, Bitcoin still isn't broken down just yet. It's very fucking close, however, but it still hasn't done it, I guess. Let's see. Simply Gain says HTR, BTC, 3-day and weekly. Sure. HTR, is this HTR USD? No, BTC. Okay, 3-day and weekly. I really don't like the 3-day chart, man. I think it's mostly nodes. The 2-day is probably what you're looking for. And the 2-day is good. And we've looked at, no, we haven't looked at this one. I keep on thinking CRV because you usually ask about that one, but still pretty, still good here. As long as you're above 22.20, this one does have its uptrend, and I imagine we do have hidden bullish divergence. No, we do not, but should we? No, no, we should not actually. What about a weekly? Weekly, I treat this as a local. I'm bullish on this thing for a continuation of this breakout, as long as you're above 2200. I mean, it don't need to be anything more complicated than that, man. You're just getting kind of your first pullback after breaking your long-term range highs, pulled back a little bit more than what you probably would have wanted, but that's okay. You can kind of expect these sort of things on a liquid altcoins, and in this case, a little bit of short-term sideways here. But if you're focused on the higher-term timeframes, like 2-day, 3-day, weekly, looking for this one as the next major level at about 33.55 above there. I do look for this one to not just retest all-time highs, but very likely make new all-time highs. And this thing's very, very good as long as you're above 2200. I'm just looking at this chart right here. Yeah, sideways and up, man. Bullish as long as you're above 2220. Very good. All right, cool. We got that. I think Mr. Mendoza is next. Hey, all good, Jack. All good, man. And much love, sir. Mr. Mendoza M is next. Spy, Viva Mexico. Mexico, nice. All right. I've actually never been there despite living in California. Anyways, you're looking at SPY. I'm going to look at SPY futures actually because they're actually trading right now. So they're probably moving to the downside short term if I had to guess based off of Bitcoin. And no time frames given. Where the fuck do I go with this one? This one actually looks like it's trying to set in a bit of a local low here on the short-term time frame. So I was just charting this one for the hourly, which I do like the hourly a lot, actually, in Bitcoin land and in traditional lands, but especially in traditional lands. I actually do look at 46.42 as a bit of a base. Below 46.42, I do look for this one to retest your current low side structure somewhere around 46.15 to 46 even. Sorry, did I say 46 even? Maybe that's a little bit. Actually, no. Yeah, 49.50 would kind of be the area right there. Here's the thing. I do think that you're in one major consolidation here, and you can maintain within a somewhat healthiest consolidation, even by coming down to, this region right here. So kind of that's what's at stake right now. I don't have an opinion on whether it does it or not. I would just be playing ranges in this case. Obviously below 46.44, I do look for probably a test somewhere down around there, to be fair, at minimum like 46.10 or so. At that point, why not just dump out another $20 and fulfill another trendline test on this one? Obviously can't really get too excited about this one for new ultimas as long as you're below about 47.12. But we did say earlier this week new ultimas on this one, and we actually did make new ultimas yesterday, but That was a rejection first and foremost. Where do I get bullish on the short-term timeframes yet again? Back above 46.88 or so. I do look at this one as likely to give another test towards the top side of this whole thing, and probably does break it from there. But again, you know, consolidating here, in my opinion, this one's likely consolidating here, and I imagine that BBWP is cooling off, and it is. So it's more likely to go. It's more likely to fill out this range a little bit more, and filling out this range probably does imply another test to the downside. So if that happens, that's not going to be interpreted very, very well by Bitcoin. I wonder what NAS looks like. Definitely weaker. Definitely fucking weaker right there. Big problems below 15,600. Just this area right here, actually. Let's put a nice little rectangle for that one. There you go. As long as you're kind of trading sideways between these regions, I guess okay. But this one you really don't want to see come down around there. That's not going to look too strong. X beta alpha. I'm beta, sir. Are you alpha? Hey, Krown, new here. Well, good to meet you, man. But love you. Hey, man, I appreciate that. OKB. Is this OK coin, or this is like OK's exchange is like thingy? Man, you know, OK Exchange actually used to be like the exchange for futures, and now you don't really see it too much anymore. So it's actually quite interesting to see you pull this one up. Anyways, you're looking at 4-hour and daily. Will you ever be? Your question is, will you ever be able to speak slower? If you wanted to hear me speak at a snail's pace, just go to Elio Trades channel, and I try to practice slowed speech there. But definitely have to fight myself, to be quite honest with you. Anyways, this one's good. This one's quite good. I wasn't expecting this, man. I wasn't expecting this at all. But you see a nice little upturn right here. As long as you're above, you're basically your $25 level. I'm looking for continuation of trend. It actually already even broke out of this little what would be a short-term cup and handle right there. So, you know, retesting it on your first move to the upside after the breakout is fine. And I do look for this one to very likely trade back up towards your May highs. It's actually quite good. It's 36.5 to 36 to 36.5, it looks like. And bullish, and again, as long as you're above about 25.5, let's say. 4-hour, just continuation right here. It looks like it's trying to set in a higher low. So you could probably use even 28.35 as a bit of a basing point for a 4-hour closure. Below there, I guess I would be looking at this one. It's likely to fall apart, but you know, a chart that's completely different than most other charts, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. We've only seen a couple of those today. And let me see, my thingy is broken over here. There we go. Yeah, you're looking at a 4 on daily, but I really would just want to see a weekly because, yeah, I mean, weekly is good here. I think it's going to take its time, yes, but very likely to retest around its prior highs. And yeah, you got another drive of hidden bullish evidence right here populating. So it just needs to close basically here or higher by end of week. And then I'm looking for another run towards your prior all-time highs, basically. Pretty good. Pretty good, man. Anyways, I think I might have maybe, did I miss one over here? No, we got that. We got that. And we got that. So actually, we do have everything. Nice. We got eMug next with Sol USD. Okay, this is Phantasma. Holy shit, my computer just like took off the blinders right there because I have this like mode on my computer that basically dims the light so it doesn't wreck your eyes as much. Anyways, Sol, same range as before, man. To the downside, big problems below 192, and probably wouldn't get excited about this thing as long as you're below $3. But going sideways wind here is good, I guess, for the Bulas. The hopium is that you're going to do something like this, but again, it would imply that this thing takes its time. And great excitement above $3. Now, short-term timeframes like a 4-hour, which you do not include timeframes, which fair enough. Well, I'm not really getting too much from this right now. I mean, it does a little more, look a little more poised to test around about $2 or so. Again, that's not the problem area. The problem area is below 192. So probably a little bit more short-term downside and tries for another base right there. Just wouldn't get excited about this thing as long as you're above $3, sorry, below $3. Below 192, big fucking problems, big red dildos, very likely back down towards 170 or so. But fair enough. All right, sweet. Jesus Christ, man. No, don't be silly. Don't be silly, Elsa. Asking a question. Silliness right there. Anyways, Ryan, I think, no. Yes, Ryan is next. He's looking at PYR. Sure, man. So we have PYR USD over here on Vulcan Forged, on Bittrex. Nah, it's, again, same thing as before, man. Looks like it's a little bit more poised to test the downside here at about $21 or so. Let's see, can we go to a 4-hour? Yeah, same thing over here, man. You know, a little bit of short-term downside. Coming back down to that region is not problematic. The problematic area is breaking that region at $21. Even on a 4-hour closure would be kind of nasty and imply moves back down towards 18.5, maybe even 18 even. Obviously going to be good back up about 31 and 11 cents or so, but until then, sideways at best, similar to a lot of the other ones with short-term downside implied here. Cool. All right, so we got that. Okay, the Better 101 says Jasmy USD, Bittrex 4-hour daily weekly. Sure, Jazz me USD. Okay, on Binance. Not fucking good, man. Holy shit. This one only goes down, so yeah, that's not a good sign. I remember that a bunch of Russian bots, or I don't know where they're actually from, but some sort of bots from some land kept on like harassing my comments with this ticker Jasmy, which is usually not a good sign. Anyways, if you want a lower term time frame, this one does not have a daily or weekly, man. It's way too new, way too new, man. It's been around for not even a month, dude. Back above 9.5 cents, maybe okay. Maybe looking for moves towards 10 to 10.5 cents. Other than that, you know, I mean, this is continuation right here, man. So I guess the hopium is that you're putting in a local low, but it doesn't look like it. I guess, yeah, you have a little bit more hopium right here. Maybe some bullish evidence shows itself. You can trade back above and close, specifically above 8.5 cents. But until then, man, I'm looking for this one, probably with continuation, especially if Bitcoin breaks down here. But Bitcoin holds, you probably see this one hold as well, and it probably trades back above last 4-hour high, 8.5 cents. And then I'd be looking for moves back up towards your 9 to 9.5 cent region. Still, though, hard to call a reversal on something that's only ever gone down. Reversal talk is not even appropriate as long as you're below 9.5 cents in this case. So I think it's kind of best it does the upside for right now, barring any sort of like massive girthy green dildo for Bitcoin there. All right, let's see. Spencer Smith says, MIA rug pull engaged. Where do we land? I don't know, man. I don't know. Miami coin? You're not going to tell me that Miami coin. I think the rug pull happened quite a long time ago, man. I think you're late to the rug pull. You're probably in a bounce mode right here. Just again, you typically get a pity bounce around your last major lows. In this case, this thing could bounce up all the way to 1.6 to 1.7 cents and still be an absolute piece of garbage. This thing, there's nothing bullish about this thing long term as long as below about 2.9 cents. So short term it is bouncy here actually. Yeah, it probably puts in a bounce from here. Bullish divergence drives on the short term time frames. Getting back up to 1.4 cents is completely fine. But long term, I don't know, man. Miami coin's going to be a scam. Jesus Christ. Next you're going to tell me that. Next, you're going to tell me something else is a scam. Next, you're going to tell me the next altcoin is a scam. That's craziness. Most altcoins are scams, to be quite honest with you. But hey, or maybe not scams. They're just not going to ever be anything, to be fair. But in this case right here, you know, probably bounce from this region. But again, bounce, not the same thing as reversal. Reversal talk is above 9.2, or sorry, 2.9. Jesus, man, serious dyslexia today. Greg Daniel says, digging the crypto. Nice, man. I'm glad that you're enjoying those. I really enjoy doing them. And yeah, we have no plans to stop. I mean, it's fun. MVI. Okay, this is a completely new one for me. I can't. Okay, it's a metaverse index. This is interesting. All right, this is actually pretty cool. It actually has some decent history here too. This is actually really, really cool. I've been waiting for something like this to come through. So now we have indices for, you know, the subsectors in cryptocurrency. This is actually really, really good to be having. So. In a lot of metaverse tokens look like this, right? Yeah, we can actually do a daily on this one. It has enough to populate a daily for what it's worth right now. You obviously got a bit of a base going on at 5.4 butyrols, and you got a bit of a short-term daily resolution above 634 with targets back up towards your prior range highs at about 7 to 7.3 region. Obviously big problems below 5.43 region, back down to your prior major base lows at about 482 or so. Short term, do we have any more, or do we have more bullish signals than not? Daily can put in a drive of bullish evidence if it does reverse from here, but again, reversal talk isn't until you actually clean and clear above 634 region. Above there, things actually look okay. Short term time frames like a 4-hour. Same thing, but man, when you fail this many times on drives of bullish evidence, it's not a great sign. But if you are using a 4-hour, you could actually use even the same area as a resolution point. I mean, maybe even this area right here is probably appropriate at 6.234 if you want to be a little more aggressive. Either which way, it's kind of the same thing right there. But you know, it's the same thing as many other things that we've seen today. It's like it's at best going sideways here for a while. Wouldn't get excited about this thing putting in new ultimas as long as you're below this region right here for the long term. It's going to be a while, man, I suspect. All right, cool. Let's see. Okay, we got that. I think it is time to go to Mr. David Gross. He says, hello from Atlanta, Georgia. Please do an entire video in your German. I can't do the German accent right now. My voice is not, I need to like prepare my voice for it. And my voice is already, is already on its last legs right now, just because, and maybe someone gets offended again. I don't know, man. I don't know. Have to be very careful nowadays, I think. But hey, that is just that's just the nature of the game. I can't get mad at it. Just have to express yourself better, and then hope that people can be reasonable. But yeah, I can't do that right now. I mean, it's actually gonna hurt my voice, and if I don't like have perfect sleep the night before, then my voice is like a little more susceptible to getting wrecked. Bitcoin Bear wants to look at Hex USD. We could do that, but dear fucking lord, man, I'm getting very very concerned with the amount of people asking for Hex. Again, this one can extend the rally a little bit more. I don't have any issues with that. 28 cents is the next major area to be aware of. And personally speaking, I do think that it probably does extend the rally a little bit more overall, but you didn't give a fucking time frame, so don't know where to go on this one. Short term probably does have a bit of a pullback to 22 cent or so. That's completely fine. But I would be looking for this one to mount a little bit of an assault higher first, and then your problem area is going to either be here or here. So that's going to be 28 cents or about 34 to 35 cents. Those are kind of the lower high areas that I'd be cognizant of. Personally speaking, I actually do think that it probably does do something like this and then big moves down. That's probably your bull trap right there. But again, can I be wrong about that? Yeah, I mean, above 35 cents, bullish as all fuck. Send it back to new all-time highs, I guess. But for right now, man, again, look at this chart over the long period of time. If I show you this chart right here, you can probably figure it out for yourself, right? This one's probably going to bounce up into Q1 of 2022, and then, come back like 6 months to a year from now, and well, we'll come back after that point, I guess. Anyways, eMug says mover USD. Sorry, actually, I skipped GoDaddy right there. He just hopped ahead. Hey, Krown, hope all is well. Hope all is well with you as well, sir. Can you look at Hero? Okay, Hero on Gate.io. Okay. It's actually only on KuCoin on TradingView, so we'll have to do this one here. Anyways, I imagine it's probably gonna be fine. You actually do have an okay amount of history for something that is rather obscure, but short-term down on a 4 hour. If you're just looking at a 4 hour, I am looking for this one to retest at minimum your 15-cent lows. If things get really nasty, I'd be looking all the way towards your 14-cent lows, somewhere around here. But similar to a lot of the other charts, it's like I don't want to get too bearish on this one as long as you're above 14 cents. Below 14 cents, that's where problems occur. Very likely looking at big moves down towards 12.5 cents or so. So probably looking at something like this. Maybe tries for a higher low right there. And if it can get back above the rejection from yesterday, that'll be your next good signal. But again, long term, I think at best you're going sideways for a while. And there's nothing to be excited about in this thing as long as you're below about 22 or basically like 22.5 cents or so. Until that gets reclaimed, going sideways at best. And you better hope that it does not break below basically like 13.90 or so. Cool. All right, we got Crispy Olo next. He says, hey man, all good, brother, all good. Appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Can you check out Super on the daily and weekly, please? Speaking of your boy Elio. Yeah, man, that's his coin after all. And let's see what it's got going on over here. I know that he has pretty damn big plans with this thing. So let's see where it's at right now. It's actually holding up better than Bitcoin, which is rather interesting. Anyway, short term, you got 118.5 as a bit of a short term 4 hour range. Below there, I do look for this one to officially retest your current low side region at 104. That's where problems do start to arise on this thing. So below 104, yeah, on even a 4 hour closure, I would say, but especially like a 12 hour and daily, this thing will get sent back down very, very likely towards 80 to 85 cents, which is a big move on this thing. Anyways, Kobus says stop talking so slow. My apologies, sir. Let me just fucking up the caffeine into my veins yet again. Abuse my body. And for the short term, if you're on were you on a 4 hour? Oh, you're on a daily and weekly. Okay, that's not relevant to you. I apologize. Anyways, you could actually move down your daily range high now a bit towards 153. Basically, yesterday's rejection high, even down around here is probably fine. 147 on a daily closure. I would be looking for this one to pop back up towards 175 plus, and this one starts to look a lot better right there. But kind of similar to all the other ones, again, at best going sideways. If you do break 118.5 on a 4 hour, I'd look for this one to rebase on your current lows, and then hopefully does something like that and pops back above that 147-ish region. Again, below 104, problems, and this thing, this thing's not going to look too hot if that happens. 5 day just closed last night, and it basically closed. It actually closed in an okay way, so you actually might see a reversal right here. But again, reversal will be confirmed above about 147 on a daily closure, and that would look really, really good for basically retesting around your 175 to maybe even $2 highs. Long term looks great above $2 with test back up towards $2.75 to $3 long term, but what's more relevant right now? Downside's actually a little more relevant right now because it's a little bit closer to fulfilling that. So just be aware of where all of those pivot points are, because this one can move fucking big time. Let's see. Okay, I think we go now to, man, everyone just keeps on jumping ahead. There we go. Arif 5665 says Ecomi OMI. Okay. Let's go OMI. Let's do this one right here. Ecomi on Ascendex. And you're looking at a 4 hour and a daily. Okay, 4 hour right here. 4 hour got a little bit of a short-term high. Do we have bearish divergence? We do have bearish divergence. Probably looking at short-term downside towards 0.6 of a cent or so. Probably tries for a higher low right there. Daily's okay. I mean, this thing put in a nice low right here. So while it does pull back short-term, that's fine. Even below like 0.6 of a cent, I just look for another retest around your current lows, and that's okay. Where does this one start to look glorious yet again? Basically above your current high of the day on a closing above there, 6.85 cent, or sorry, 6.85 basically on a closure above there. I'd look for this one to actually make a big move up towards basically its current highs, somewhere around that 0.8% region, between there and about 7.6 to 7.7ish region, somewhere above there. It would look pretty damn good. But for right now, actually acting as one of the better ones, which is very interesting to see yet again. Weekly looks like a higher low right here. I'm going to be respectful of that. Same thing with the 5-day as well. I'm inclined to say that this one, has a short-term pullback, yes, and can pull back, towards 0.6 of a cent, no problem. But this is looking like a reversal to me. This is looking like a big base. So short-term pullback, just want to see it clear above there, and I'll be looking for this one to retest highs. Looks okay. EGLD 4 hour and daily. Okay, EGL. Whoops. Maybe I typed this one in properly as well. There we go. Also, all I don't know yet is who is richer, Krown or Ellie. Ellie is much richer than me. He has his own shitcoin, man. Like that's probably the best way to print money. That's probably the best way to print money. EGLD 4 hour and daily, same range as before, man. 325 to the upside versus 236 to the downside on a daily. If you're on a 4 hour, basically same thing. Basically same thing. Got rejected at the exact point you don't want to see yesterday, but still, until it actually breaks below about 235, I wouldn't be looking for another major move to the downside. The problem is if you do break below that region, I'm looking for like 190, which is a big move on this one. So, again, I do think that most things in this market are doing something like this, where they come back down to lows, maybe set an ever so slightly higher low, trade sideways, take out your daily range highs, and then, reclaim back up here and then do the same thing for a while as well. Probably something like that. I just don't think that they're going to be very interesting for a long time, but this would be kind of a more bullish look on it. Obviously below 236, big fucking problems. Until then, short term, probably a little bit of downside here. Yeah, downside implied right here. So maybe one more test down around here and tries for a higher low somewhere around like 240 to 250-ish region. It's kind of what I'd be looking for, and that would look okay long term. It's going to take a long time, man. A lot of these things went parabolic, and it's going to take a long time to kind of shake that off, man. Anyways, okay, we got that. I think it is now time. No, for Danio. Danio says, sir, doing overall analysis on Dusk USD long term. We can pull this one up. I remember this one was also one of the more interesting ones in this last week. Yeah, we had a pretty good move right there. Yeah, we looked at this one earlier, actually. First move, you broke your highs. It's good. You do expect a pullback within this region. Pullbacks can come down to even like, what was it, 4.8 or 4.5, 4.5 cent basically. You're just getting your first pullback after that. Usually I look at this as an opportunity, but I do think that you test a little bit further to the downside right here. That's fine. I only look at this one as a failed breakout and big downside below 40, basically 44.5 cent. Until then, short term, a little bit of downside, but I'm just looking for higher lows and long term continuation over the next couple weeks after some sideways here. All right, cool. Now we can go back to KGO. He says Joule 4 hour and daily. Is this a ticker or are you looking at the Joule itself? Oh no, you're probably looking at this. Okay, so this is Joule versus AVAX. All right, we can look at it, I guess. Daily, not much of a chart here, but it is good for the chart that we do have. Really a new chart, man. It's probably not much to be making out of, but the 4 hours is okay. Maybe the hourly is going to have like some good structure here, and it does actually. Good. I'm bullish on this thing as long as you're above basically this 82 whatever the fuck that number is low. Looking for this one to continue onwards and upwards here, but again, very very new. Can't really be going off of much on this one, unfortunately. Maybe it's got more history on the other exchange. Pangolin, same shit right here. So I'm really not going off of much, man. I should really be saying a healthy amount of I don't know when I see a chart like this. It's got like literally a couple weeks of history here, man. So minimum to be going off of. But if I had to call, this is an accumulation at a high level. So I'm going to be biased towards upside continuation, but really going off of kind of fumes on that one. Cool. All right, let's see. Jack is back. He says, can you look at gold daily and weekly? Yeah, we can definitely look at gold. Gold is over here, 18. Ooh. Oh. Gold. Holy shit, man. That one played... I don't want to toot my own horn here, man, but that one played out like a little bit too well. It's right down to that fucking 1750-ish region that we spoke about a couple days ago. I remember vividly we spoke about this one 2 days ago. We got our test down there. Great. Bounced up from there. Great. We have another higher low right here. Great. This one's bouncing into the end of the month, which makes this look like, again, a major low. This looks like one massive cup and handle to me. Anyways, you're looking at it daily and weekly. So you are focused on the higher term timeframes. Look, Jack, any sort of a closure here or higher, or especially above your 20th of November highs, which was 1808, which are pretty much there right now. I'm looking for this one to trade sideways and up from here, back up towards your 1865 highs. And then, you know, coming into next year, Q1 of 2022, I'm looking for this one to really, I'd be bullish on gold, especially if you close anything like this end of year here. This one's rallying at the time that you need to rally at. Does it play with Bitcoin anymore? I don't know. I actually don't think that it does. So it's looking good here, man. 5 days closed quite well as well. So looking for some upside from here, man. I only get bearish now below your higher low. So this is a really, really big one right here. This is a really big one right here. Below either this week's wick low or a closing basis below about 1765. That would make me bearish on this. Until then, you got a few higher lows here. So starting to look better and better, man. I think that this one's setting up for a good Q1 of 2022, actually. Sweet. All right, let's see. Let's pop back up over here. Okay, we got that. We got all of that. Jesus Canto says, can you look at DAR on the 1 second time frame? I can. If you really desire. Oh yeah, okay. You do need like a second on this one. Yeah, not much on here, man. We use like a 4 hour to be fair. It's the same thing as many other ones. Short-term downside, probably retesting your 189 lows or 188 lows, closing below your current low side structure, and well, send it back down to where it came from. But typically you're going to bounce off of your sort of initial, I guess, dump from listing here on like early November. But I don't really trust charts like this too much, man. You already know that. On the minute, we could do the 1 second. I mean, I do have a second chart over here. I do pay for this shit, but it's a downtrend even on the second chart. Wouldn't really take too much though. The problem is that this thing can reverse a lot faster than you can put in an order. So that becomes a very painful learning process. Anyways, let's see. Matt Meningio says BKKT. This is a new one. Is this backed? No, that's BKT, I think. BKKT. No, it is backed. Okay. By the way, you don't need to put USD after it, just so you know. But yeah, this is backed over here. So this was like the big sort of news. This was like 3 years ago in 2017, man. Looks absolutely terrible. Looks like absolute dog shit, man. I mean, this thing's coming back all the way to its all-time lows essentially in October 2022. Sorry, October 22nd of 2021. Ugly as fuck, man. Ugly as fuck. This is a dead as doorknob chart. It's fucking awful. I'd rather do the other one, man. We can do UFO. UFO does not trade versus US dollar, unfortunately, man. But yeah, terrible chart right there. The fuck is that thing, man? UFO versus wrapped Ethereum kind of solving itself at the exact moment that you want it to. This is kind of what we want to see a lot of things do today. With bouncing off the lows. So for right now, you did pop back above your daily range highs. I do look at this good. However, short term, very likely pulls back. Pullbacks can happen all the way down to 65 or 66 butyrols right there. Long term, good. Again, as long as you're above 50 butyrols. That is the major basing area now. If you lose that, this thing will get shattered. But until then, you know, short term pullback, probably trade sideways for a while. Same thing as a lot of the other ones. It went parabolic over here. So it's probably going sideways at best for like a couple months here, and then if you can clear back above like 105, then we can start to talk about new all-time high parties. But for right now, sideways at best, man, with a little bit of short-term pullback implied, which is fine. I mean, it's fine. Cool. Ryan Lawrence says, love your work, bro. Thanks, man. Listening from New Zealand. Nice. We got some Kiwis in here. This is good. It's real fucking nice. Bless you, sir. Jesus. You're right over there. Okay, I think we're getting towards the end of this. No, we got one more. Daniel Garcia, Gala USD Daily Weekly. Is it dead? I think we looked at this one at like the very beginning, and I don't think it's dead. I think it's just going sideways. Yeah. Short term, it does have some downside here, though. Yeah, I remember what we said about this one earlier. Short term, it does look like it's about to break down here, to be fair. I mean, this is not strong price action. I'd call a short-term reversal back above 50.5 cents. Until then, I'm probably looking for this level to actually break here, to be honest with you, and probably test back down towards 42.5 to 43 cents or so. Big problems below 39 cents. That's where this one completely gets wrecked, and that's where I would start to say it's quite dead. But probably looking at something like this for a while. It probably does come down to this lower level, to be fair. But just like the other ones, I think it's probably going to hold there. Just not do anything interesting, which is what I think you're probably more interested in to the upside at long term anytime soon. Beta Alpha says one more, please. Sure, man. CVX. So this is convex token. So this is a reward token. So these things typically just go down, but well, that actually looks quite good right there. Let's maybe go to maybe Poloniex. Okay. What is this thing? All right, this one actually has the most history, and it's actually quite good. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up towards your $39 highs and probably continuation from there. Bearish below $25. Until then, sideways and up is the name of the game. Looks like continuation, man. Not much to be going off of, to be fair, but 4 hour, a little bit better. Yeah, 4 hour, looking for this one to retest around your highs, like 36 and a half, and closures above your current high side structure, which is like basically the same level. Well, I'm looking for I guess continuation from there. It's just very, very new here, so it's hard to make much out of it. Cool. All right, I'll read through some of the comments over here now that we actually have some time, which is kind of nice. Krown, does Nasdaq offer any bias to Bitcoin breakdowns at Sinegra? We looked at that one just briefly for a second ago earlier. I would expect that if Nasdaq does not necessarily break this level right here, but if it comes down to, let's say, 15,600, that's probably going to be a Bitcoin breakdown. You can see it kind of fighting on this level right here. I mean, basically, here's your range, blue box to blue box. Personally speaking, even just coming back down to like 15,600, that's going to be very problematic for Bitcoin. I don't think that Bitcoin holds 46.5 if that happens. But short term, are we putting in a low here? Yeah, it looks like an ever so slightly higher low. So I do think that you got a little bit of short term upside here. And to be fair, I think you're going to have a chance here. And if you are on the hourly, you can obviously use this as a continuation point at 15,768. So below there, you're probably going to get an early warning signal for a Bitcoin breakdown. Until then, well, short term, it's got some upside. I imagine you got some bullish divergence over here. Yeah, you do. Just ever so slightly baking in, just one massive range, to be fair. But don't want to see that one dump out there, man. That's not going to be interpreted very well by Bitcoin, obviously. And by extension, probably the majority of the cryptocurrency market. All right, Mr. Jansen. Yeah, we can look at Curve, daily. Wait, maybe a daily would be good. Yeah, hey, there you go. There you go. So you're getting your pullback after a bit of a short-term breakout. But, is this a failed attempt or not? Yeah, you do have a bit of a local high right there. Huh. Yeah, I think I might be wrong about this one, but it's not there just yet. Where would I call this one a full-on failure? Below 360. Below 360, I look for another run towards your current lows at 333, 335 region. And then below there, it's the same thing as yesterday. I would be looking for this one to actually break down. I'm very hesitant to call a breakdown on this one. Let's see what the 5-day close is like. 5 days still okay here. But this one does run with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin shows some weakness here, which it is, this one probably doesn't operate too well, man. Probably doesn't operate too well. And at that point, you're probably looking at like 285 to 280-ish region. Until then, I'm still inclined to like this one just because it's been holding its consolidation for a while now. It looks rather mature. But short term, it's hard to ignore this right here. You do have, you don't have regular bearish divergence, but fair enough. How much you get Krown to sing Island Boy? Man, you're coming at me at the wrong day, sir. You're coming at me at the wrong day, but we can God damn. We can come back to that one maybe next week, man. I'll probably be more prepared for that, but for right now, no. I can't handle it with my voice today, man. My voice is already kind of like on edge. Didn't get like the best sleep last night, but yeah, probably best not to risk it. But yeah, as far as this chart goes, it is kind of short-term problematic here. Let me just go check in over here. Curious to see where this one is on the very low-term time frames. 4 hour, freshly turned down below $4. That is not a good sign right there. 12 hour is going to turn down below 338. That's basically your bottom side resolution, and daily turns down below 350. Yeah, really don't want to see this one below like 360 today. Even on a 4 hour closure, that's going to look pretty damn bad. Until then, I still give this one the benefit of the doubt. I do kind of respect this breakout right there, but look, if Bitcoin shits the bed, most things are going to shit the bed with it, man. There you go, man. There you fucking go. Thoughts on Rally, RLY? I'm not RLY. Oh my god, what the fuck is this thing? It does exactly the opposite of what you would expect, sir. Terrible, man. This is not an island boy. This one's been banned from the island. It's been banned from the island, man. There's no fucking island boys for this one. I forget how do they even fucking do it too? I'm an island boy. I'm an island boy. Put my vest on tight. Island boy, I'm an island boy. Bitcoin's an island boy. It's getting wrecked tonight. Did I give up on the options test set? No, man. I actually still have it. I just haven't put on a... feeling very island boy right now. I haven't put on a position for a while, man. I've kind of actually forgotten about it just because I've been like busy with my own trading. But I don't know. Maybe right now is the time to be doing it. Let's see. Is there anything good on the board here? Nah, I can't be bothered with this right now, man. There's like actual real trading to be doing. Is it a full moon? I think tomorrow's a full moon, actually. Bitcoin breaking support with the Island Boys, man. I forgot how they sound. Like, I need to go... How do these fuckers sound? And am I going to get a copyright just for looking at this? Island Boy song. Like... Cause I'm an island boy, I'll make it. I'm an island boy. I'm an island boy. I'm a Bitcoin boy. I'm a Bitcoin boy. Put my vest on tight. I'm a Bitcoin boy. Let me see. Is this copyrighted? It's not copyrighted.
Boy, I'm just island boy.
I'm just Bitcoin boy. I'm just Bitcoin boy. I'm just Bitcoin boy. I'm just Bitcoin boy. I'm just break Bitcoin. Bitcoin breaking down. Trying to knock a pour. I'm a Bitcoin boy. I'm a Bitcoin boy. Put my orange on tight. My ears are bleeding. Philson says smash the likes. I appreciate that. I'ma smash the likes. I'ma smash those likes. I'ma like it up and I smash my face on the like button. We gon' smash it up. Grits. What's up, Tyler? Good morning to you, man. Good morning to you. Let me guess what you're eating. Oh, that's fun times, man. That's fun times. Nick, actually, I really appreciate you going through the through the trouble on that one, Nikki. I'm just reading through some of the comments here, but she's like actually giving really good feedback. Really good feedback right there. Could we please see Link daily and weekly? I want to talk more about the Island Boys, man. Link. I'm a chain link boy. I go down to the floor. I'm a B-poor now, holding my link chains on. I put chain boy on. I'm a fuck Bitcoin. Weekly is quite wrecked. The daily is going down, but we might have divergence, but we might be wrecked. And below $17.50, Link will get fucked, but it might be putting in some weekly highs, and it might just go back to 25. If you can close back above like 22.85, then yeah, I'd probably be looking for that move to 25. But this one's been beat up a little bit too much, man. I wouldn't be long-term bullish on this as long as you're below about 28 to 28.5. I'm
taking an island boy.
Oh, there you go, man. There you go. I hope you enjoy that, man. Is this a good place to leave this one off? Have we embarrassed ourselves too much here? Man, between the Rosa Parks thing and fucking Bitcoin boy and Link Chain boy and all this shit, I'm definitely getting canceled after this one. For sure. For fucking sure, man. I'm a gay for TA. Yeah, man. Probably a good time to be sounding off now. Bitcoin is diving. I mean, yeah, it's coming back down to the bottom side of the range here. I mean, you know, you got some bearish divergence on the 12-hour. Sorry. All right, that's enough. Hey, that's probably it for today, man. That's probably it for today. Bitcoin, same shit as before. It's caught in a descending triangle right here. Confirmation below about 46.5, and well, there is a measured move and a price to pay for breaking this to the downside. That's about 43 to 44,000 bucks. All right, last one for Speak Needs. He says contentos. All right, just gonna type this one in. Cost USD on Binance, 4-hour and daily. This one actually has a decent amount of history, and we did this one yesterday, I believe. Yeah, this one's actually not bad here, man. Sitting at a higher low. Again, I think you're going sideways for a while, but start to get a lot more excited above about 3.3 cent. Until then, this one actually has some short-term upside, it looks like. Yeah, this one's actually, well, maybe 4-hour does come back down. Look, it's just so difficult to be bullish on an altcoin while Bitcoin's kind of doing its thing, man. Because I'm an island boy. If you do close below about 2.4 cent on a 4-hour, I would be looking for another run towards your lows, but I don't think that's what's happening here, man. This is actually a pretty good trading range, and we do see what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 higher lows right there. So I'm going to be running with that, but short term, a little bit of sideways excitement above 3.3 cent. Until then, sideways and up, looking okay. Looking okay right there. All right, sirs and zers, I think that's going to be it. It's been an absolute fun. Itsy says, I'm available for stress management counseling if Bitcoin drops past 40,000 bucks. Okay, all good. I appreciate that. I'm gonna need some stress management after today. Anyways, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. It's been a fun week. It's been a pretty damn slow week, but I do appreciate everyone kind of tuning on in because, hey, I'm gonna be here anyways. Oh, god damn it, Praetorian. All right, last of the last, man. Ring versus BN. Is this a thing? Am I getting trolled? I'm getting trolled. God damn it. I done goofed right there. Oh my god, there's a real ring. Motherfucker. Oh, it is a real thing. All right, let's go to Huobi, the most highly esteemed of all shitcoin exchanges. And again, when you get towards your prior all-time lows, you're probably going to get a pity bounce. Probably bases you a few more times and maybe gives a rally towards like 5.5 cents or so. But long-term shitty AF as long as you're below like 10 cents, or if you're on a weekly, probably that 8 cent region. Yeah, same shit, man. Not great. But hey, probably get a pity bounce right there. And then, well, if Bitcoin salvaged itself, probably everything else does as well. But Bitcoin's right on the precipice right there. So hopefully that was helpful. If you want to be a little more conservative, then probably looking at like 12-hour in this case as well. It's all the same shit, really. Anyways, I'm going to be signing off now. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really, really fun week, even though it was a kind of a sideways and boring week. But hey, man, that's why we have some fun over here. So hopefully I didn't offend too many people. If I did, look, it wasn't intentional, and I do apologize if it came off like that. It certainly wasn't my intention. But hey, at the end of the day, hopefully we can just all get along and move onwards and forwards. And with that said, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it.